Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm a somatic therapist and a trauma-informed practitioner. I'm also the founder of SETUKA, a platform dedicated to helping people reconnect with themselves through embodied therapy practices, workshops, and other trauma-informed programs that help them open up their capacity to face their challenges in life and grow through them. I work with both individuals and organizations to support mental, physical, emotional, and energetic health. My mission is to help people build sustainable ways to care for themselves in the middle of real life, in the challenges they face, the responsibilities they carry, and the passion that drives them. Well, I really believe that self-care isn't about escaping the challenges we face. It's about staying resourced within them. So my journey into this work didn't start in a classroom with my nose in therapy books. It began with my own lived experience, my own trauma, my experience with severe burnout, high-risk pregnancies, complicated childbirths, and also early motherhood. So I grew up across Asian and European continents and cultures, learning very early on about adaptation and change. But like many of us, I also carried early loss and pain, the loss of a sibling in adolescence, and the silent yet very prominent impact of childhood trauma. And those experiences shaped my resilience. They gave me drive and determination, but also a tendency to keep going and pushing myself, even if my body was asking me to slow down. In the corporate world, those same coping mechanisms functioned as drivers. They helped me excel as a creative business leader in a high-performance environment. At the height of my career, I had everything I thought I wanted: success, recognition, and momentum. And beneath the surface, I was exhausted, disconnected, performing, producing, but slowly unraveling. And when a persistent toxic work situation pushed me past my energy reserves, my body shut down. I lost the ability to read, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't focus, and I couldn't feel joy. My nervous system was in full collapse, and I took that collapse for failure. But it was, in truth, my body's honest signal that something had to change. In the early months, very little seemed to work. Meditation made me restless, yoga classes brought up anxiety, and traditional therapy did help my mind make sense of things, but my body still felt really unregulated and tense. My daily home yoga practice was the one ritual that helped me connect to myself, to my body, and to actually allow myself to feel the tension I was holding and the emotions that I had been storing and repressing for so long. And through a combination of embodied practices and psychotherapy, I started to connect to my inner world in a more compassionate way, to understand my patterns, to meet my emotions, and start to heal. And it was through that process that I discovered how profoundly the body holds both our pain and our potential to heal. And I realized that healing isn't about stepping away from life. It's about learning how to stay connected, grounded, and present while living it to its fullest. So changing direction in my life led me to specialize in body-based therapies, embodied practices that help people bridge the gap between thinking and feeling, doing and being. These tools help us reconnect with our bodies, recognize our limits, and take responsibility. We find new ways and words to respond with awareness, moving away from a reactive, nervous state. And in my work as a somatic therapist today, I see how our bodies quietly hold the truth, not just of our wounds, but of our wisdom. Even when we struggle and the mind goes in and out of flux, with distractions, overthinking, over-intellectualizing, dissociation, the body stays with us. It will always move towards living. It's the most faithful part of us. No matter what we put it through, it's constantly trying to adapt, protect, and heal. And when we learn to listen, we begin to recognize the signals: tension, breath, emotion, chronic pain, dis-ease. We notice these signals not as problems to fix, but as information. And that's where change can begin. And SETUKA was born from this understanding, that our needs don't have to hit the ground in order for us to steer our lives to a healthier direction. When we learn how to resource and care for ourselves within our mission, the reality of life, we tend to expand our capacity to make an even bigger impact for ourselves and the people and businesses we operate with. But yes, sometimes things do need to burn out in order for us to break through, to see what's left when everything we believed we thought we were crumbles away. And if we're brave enough and have the right support system, we can use this stage of being uprooted to course correct our belief systems, our habits, our personal and professional activities, so that when we do find ourselves back on more stable ground, we can take root here in this more fertile space to support the impact that we are here to make. Our work is rooted in integrity, inclusivity, and compassion. It's a space for curiosity, connection, and truth, where people can show up as they are and take small, honest steps towards feeling more connected and fulfilled. This can look like learning ways to recognize the state of your nervous system and knowing what you can do to regulate your energy, bringing it up when you're feeling lethargic and bringing it down when you're feeling overwhelmed or frazzled. I mean, context is everything. What works for you might not work for someone else. It's about exploring different techniques and approaches to have the right ones that work for you. Whether I'm working with an individual in therapy or with an organization helping to build a culture of care, responsibility, and anti-fragility, my aim is the same: to help the disconnected mind reconnect to the body, to intuition and emotion, so we can cultivate honesty, compassion, and resilience in the middle of real life. Because when we feel grounded in our bodies and connected to our whole selves, we can navigate through the chaos and the beauty of the world with direction, determination, and joy. Welcome to SETUKA, where healing is grounded in compassion, guided by science, and lived every day in the heart of real life.